Okay, so I want to talk about 2026 marketing and sales predictions. And I don't want this to be like the dramatic, everything's changing overnight, you gotta go like shut things down or anything like that. I want this to be really more of just what I'm truly actually seeing and hearing from small business owners, what I really love. So no hot takes, no panic posts. If you're not doing this, you're behind energy. We're going to throw all of that out here. So I'm so excited to go through this with you. So grab some notebooks, watch this video, save this video, whatever it is that you need to do, but go ahead. This is going to be amazing. And so this is actually going to be real for real small business owners, online businesses, brick and mortar businesses, and the patterns that are already shaping how people buy and search and decide to buy. All right. So I'm not predicting the future here. I have no crystal ball. I'm just really, truly paying attention and having an amazing conversations with business owners on a daily basis. So I'm so excited about this. So let's just start with Facebook and Instagram, because I think this is probably the biggest misunderstanding I'm seeing right now. For a long time, social media worked kind of like this. If people didn't follow you, your content basically didn't matter at all. Like, so everybody would try to get all these followers, right? And what we've done is we've trained a lot of business owners to think, why should I even post if no one's going to see it? This is amazing. I'm so excited to go through this with you because this era is completely over. And now we have something that is really going to, at the end of the day, with Meta's newest algorithm shift, Andromeda, I think it's Andromeda, that's how you say it. Andromeda, something like that. Facebook and Instagram don't work off of the social graph anymore. They're really working more off of an interest graph. So let me explain what that actually means in real life. Because when I first heard it, I was like, in more details, please. Your content is no longer shown because of who follows you. It's actually going to be shown based off of what people's content is about and who's actually interested in it, which is really cool. So Meta is now monetizing content itself and really not its popularity longer. So instead of asking the algorithm, or the algorithm asking, I guess technically, how big is this account? It's now asking who would be most interested in this piece of content? Who's already searching for these things, or who's watched the videos on these things? That's who they're going to send your content to. So this is a huge win for small business owners. And honestly, this is probably one of the best news small businesses have had in years when it comes to these social media platforms. I'm so excited about it because you don't need to really, at this point, you don't need to have a big audience. You don't need to have like viral polishes. You don't have to have any of that stuff. You don't need to stay stuck in one tiny content box either. Like, you can't just post about dogs now. Like, you can post about anything you really want. And if someone's interested in it, then they're going to find it. So if you're a epoxy floor company and all of a sudden you go to a restaurant and you're like, wow, I really loved this restaurant in this location, and you share about that restaurant, guess what? People who are looking for restaurants in that location are going to see your content. Same thing, any small business decisions or before and after transformations. People love that stuff. People love seeing behind the scenes work. And if you post about it, your content can actually now be shown to people who care about that topic, even if they've never heard of you before. So now you're going to start to see like, oh, Facebook will be like, I've been recently getting like Facebook messages such as, you've been putting out really good content. We're going to show it to more people. Cool, Facebook, thanks. Right? So there's a mindset shift here though. So the mindset shift for 2026 is this. You're no longer posting for your followers. You're posting for interest pockets, like little pockets of interest, people who are interested in those things. And that changes completely everything. All right. So here's a little bit of permission slip for you. Okay. I want you to be okay and learn how to post random, but very real content. This is where I see people are still holding themselves back a little bit. They'll say things such as like, that feels random. That doesn't fit my niche. Those aren't my content pillars. My audience won't care about this if I post it. But in 2026, random content isn't random. It really is true and very relevant and completely okay for you to do. So if you're curious about something, post about it. If your customer keeps asking the same question, go ahead and post about it. If you've made a business decision in your business and you want to explain why, go for it. And if you're in mid-project, show it. Show people, because if you start to show this stuff, it's going to go to the people who actually care about it. And also another thing that I love about this one is that if you're learning something right now, go ahead and share it. As long as it's grounded in its truth. Okay, you want this to be very authentic. You want to be connected to what you actually do. So it's human, it's honest, and it truly does have that feeling of this belongs, right? This is where you get to say, hey, you know what, I'm a multidimensional person, and here's some different interests about myself besides just my business. All right, so now let's talk a second about AI, because I think that we all know it's not going anywhere. But because of 2026, I think the content volume is going to explode, especially with video, especially AI. Over the last couple of years, we've been figuring it out, and this year, I think that we're really going to get a handle on it. Not because it's better, but because it's actually easier for us to produce things, apparently. And what happens when this happens is that our feeds get really loud and people start to scroll faster, right? And they trust slow. So go ahead and have permission to kind of slow your content down. This is where small business owners actually have the advantage, because we're working with real customers and we've seen the things that actually can go wrong here. You know what actually works. So what we have to do is we have to create AI generated content, or I guess we can use AI generated content here, you know, to help get the message out, but it won't replace the experience. So we have to have a little bit of both, and it's got to be a hybrid. In 2026, I also see that it's going to be gravitating towards imperfect deliveries, real expectations, lived experiences. Your voice matters really way more than the production quality in 2026 is what my prediction is. Another thing is the buying behavior shift. This is also kind of like how it shows up in sales. So buying is going to slow down, not because people don't want to buy things, because obviously we love spending money, but because they are hesitant when things feel unclear. People are going to pause when pricing is vague, outcomes aren't explained, proof is messaging, or proof is missing specifically in your messaging. They will move faster though when you show them reviews, before and afters, examples, how your process works. Teaching really now becomes part of the selling process. I think that this is so important here. The next thing is thinking about how social media's new role is going to be for us. And this probably isn't going to surprise a lot of people. Most customers don't discover you on social media. I have this conversation on a daily basis. They're going to find you through Google. They're going to find you through referrals. They're going to find you through search. And then they're going to go check your social media to decide, are these people actually legit? I do this 100% of the time. So social media becomes a credibility checkpoint, not the starting line for most businesses, not all businesses, for most businesses. So dead feeds and confusing profiles really do stop sales here, because, you know, before they even can start, because they don't feel like maybe the business isn't even active anymore because their social media accounts are also not active. So if you're a brick and mortar, this is a huge one. If in-person experiences, events, workshops, community involvement, these are becoming premium trust signals again. So because they're harder to fake, the real win here is when you turn offline experiences into online proof. So if you're doing things, make sure you're capturing that and showing people hey, I'm out here doing things, and come hang out with me over here online as well, because I'd like to, collaborate or make sales or whatever. Also, offers are really polarizing here. So another shift that I'm seeing is the middle is actually disappearing. So people want a small, low risk yes, way more than they want the full menu, right? So a full solve it for me solution. So they want to know what struggles. They don't want vague packages, kind of helpful offers, confusing next steps. Really, I think that clarity here is going to completely win the game. So the next piece is consistency in 2026 doesn't come from inspiration. It's going to come from the structure. So in your business, so if you think about batching, automation, simple workflows, make sure that you have a system and you're already acting as if you are a $1 million business before you ever hit the $1 million line. All right. The next one is when things start to kind of separate more in your business, proximity to your audience here is going to be very important. So if you haven't been paying attention to your comments, your messages, the language that your customers are using, you may feel a little bit of disconnection, and they definitely will feel it way faster than you will. So closeness here beats the scale. So make sure you're having real, true conversations with people who are following you so that you can speak to them specifically. All right, the next one. You'll probably already have content that has worked in the past, right? So blogs, posts, emails, ideas. They don't need to be thrown away. They just need to be reframed here. So use the same insight, new context, new era, right? But really start to figure out how to repurpose it in a different voice. All right, the next one, let's get rid of the noise. People are exhausted by the content that talks all about everything and says nothing kind of at all. So in 2026, content that's going to win is going to give very clear direction. It's going to explain your why. It's going to respect the intelligence here and not be spoken down to as if you just don't know anything. So thank God we're getting rid of the noise, right? All right. So in this one, I really want us to land with, because I think it's what's most important for business owners are actually struggling with right now. It's focus. I have this conversation on a daily basis with my clients. They are all struggling with focus. Even I struggle with focus. So this is one of those things that in 2026, businesses won't struggle because they lack the ideas. They're going to struggle because they have way too many ideas. Between all of the AI tools, the platform updates, the marketing advice, all of the streaming things that we can now put in front of our face, right? So constantly we are trying to figure out which thing we should be paying attention to. So the loudest problem here will be the biggest distraction. So focus looks like this: fewer platforms used really well, fewer offers super clearly explained, right? Fewer messages repeated consistently, fewer priorities expected fully. Not because less, because you're tired, doing less so that things can actually work the way they're supposed to be. So if you're really feeling overwhelmed heading into 2026, hear this. I have to tell myself this all the time. I always say, you know what? You're not behind, you're overstimulated. And like too many books, too many courses, too many focus platforms, too many things, right? And so focus is a mindset, and it's truly a strategy at the same time. So we have to kind of combine these two things. So I think that as we move into 2026, we're going to start to see a lot more business owners who are stepping back and they're picking and choosing which one of these things are going to work for their business. And I think that as I move into 2026, I'm going to really hang on to the thought that less is more, and that's what I'm going to go with. So I hope this was helpful. What do you predict you're going to see more of in 2026?